Okay, it's 6 o'clock, time to begin our board meeting. And so it's, I guess, Mr. Soundman, everything on up here and ready to go. I'm going to slide mine in. They've asked us if they will talk loud, so we'll have it for our minutes. And so also it was requested as we vote, leave your hand up just a moment, give Lena time to get a count concerning her vote. So with that said, Miss Nancy, if you'll do a roll call, see if we've got a quorum.
Let me see. Mr. Wheeler, say here, please. Mr. Sams?
Sam's. Here.
Mr. Kilburn?
Here.
Danny?
Here.
Lisa?
Here.
Brian?
Here.
And I'm here.
All right, for the record, we're all here, so we do have a quorum. So, I make a motion that we are called in order at this time. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, raise your hand, hold a minute. Okay, thank you. So we are now entering our business meeting for tonight. Well, first thing we have, well, I need to do this. Do I have a motion we accept the agenda as written? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion. Brian?
Second.
Second. Mark, all in favor of accepting the agenda? Okay. All right, now, I'll now have prayer, and so you can remain seated or stand. And those who wish may quietly step out into the foyer at this time, okay? Heavenly Father, I thank you for gathering us together to meet today to discuss the future of our county library. God, our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of glory, give us the spirit of wisdom and revelation, that the eyes of our hearts may be enlightened to make the right decisions in the business before us. We ask for discernment and foresight. Guide our discussions, that we may act with patience and respect for one another. Bless this meeting and all who participate, that our decisions may bring wisdom and unity to the whole community of Pickens County in which we have been selected to serve for your glory. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, our business will begin for the evening. And as you see, we have before us 4 motions. And these motions, they came from a committee, so therefore they will not need a second. And so we'll begin with the motion, changes to the Constitution, Article 5. Do I have a motion?
I have a motion.
Okay. Second not needed. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor to this change of to the Constitution, Article number 5, raise your hand. Okay, it's unanimous. The vote carried. Next motion, motion to bylaws, Article 4 and Article 9. So I'll go ahead and make that motion. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the changes to the bylaws, Article 4 and Article 9. Raise your hand. Unanimous. Carried. Thank you. Now we come to motion collection policy as written. Do I have a motion for the collection policy?
Have a
Motion?
Motion.
Okay. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes?
I'd like to say thanks to the committee for coming up with this collection policy and development policy. I would like to propose making just a couple of changes to it. And I have those changes here that I could walk through. It looks worse than it is. If I can get them out of here. So the first thing I'd like to,
You got the discussion, you fall right into it. We
Oh,
don't
I'm
need
sorry.
No, so we had a motion, and so discussion's ready, and you speak toward your motion.
okay, thank you.
Yes.
I'm jumping the gun.
No, you're fine.
Okay, on the first page, on the second paragraph, the last sentence, I would like to strike out the word "the" and then change it and add an "a," and then add in there that conforms to this collection policy. So the sentence would read, "The board therefore establishes the following principles to guide the library in a selection process that conforms to this collection policy."
Okay. So with that said, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, for us to amend that, raise your hand. None opposed? Carries. Okay. Second one.
On page 2, the second bullet from the bottom, where they're listing off the resources that'll be used as part of the professional review, I'd like to add in there a National Book Rating Index. And the reason I'd like to add that to this list, I know that this is not a complete list and that the library staff will use what they want to use or to make their decisions, but at least this source provides information that's relevant to the collection policy and the criteria that we're establishing. The other ones, I checked 2 or 3 of them for various books, and it seems like it's more of a summary of the book. And at least this is an additional site that has more information than what this has. So I'd like to add that as a suggestion to help in the evaluation process.
Okay. Any discussion?
I just wanted to, I'm not familiar with that as a resource.
Okay.
I don't know if any of y'all are.
It's another source that summarizes a wide variety of books. It may be useful to you, it may not be, but I think it provides some additional perspective on things.
More discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor of this?
Well, I'd like to just
Oh, okay, go ahead.
interject. If the Director Howard has not heard of this, I don't see why it should be added, because she is the authority and she's been a professional librarian for many years and has built a fine institution here. So I wouldn't want to add something that she is unfamiliar with.
Okay. Okay. Any more discussion?
I would just like to say that, you know, these listing of sources that are on here are part of the sources in the professional review that she uses, among other things. Maybe that's not the particular one that she would use. Maybe it is, I don't know. But it provides some additional commentary that these other ones don't seem to have. So I just thought it would be a more robust way to look as you're trying to review the books as a selection policy. It can give you an additional perspective on it. I don't think any of these are required to be used. I think she uses what needs to be used. So it was just an additional source.
Okay. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of adding this? All in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? Okay. So we have a 5 in favor, 2 opposed. Next.
On page 4, in the first paragraph, I would like to propose that we strike out the word use and add follow in its place. And then at the end of that sentence, strike out as a resource, and then just add a period, so that it would say that the following 2 sections, children's and teen collections, will follow the guidance on collection development for minors by the South Carolina State Library.
Any discussion? Hearing none, in favor of striking this and this addition, raise your hand. Opposed? Okay. Carried, 5-2. Next.
On the same page, in the middle of the page, where it has 2 asterisks, and it says if material contains the above criteria and so forth, I think that should just be removed.
Okay. Discussion?
The sentence should be removed, or the asterisk
That
should be
whole,
removed?
I'm sorry, that whole
Okay.
sentence.
Mr.
Discussion?
Chairman, I have, in a minute, I have some corrections that would clarify that as well, but we can proceed with removing the asterisks, because I would suggest moving that entire
Well,
sentence.
we're
Yeah, that's what
discussing
he
it
said.
now.
Yeah,
The whole
no, not
sentence.
just the asterisk, I mean that whole sentence, just,
Okay, delete the
Striking the whole sentence, okay. You still have some discussion on that, Hal?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
I'll
Okay.
bring that up in a minute.
Okay. All right, all in favor of striking that, raise your hand. Okay. Unanimous, carried, thank you. Next.
on the same page, I'd like to take suggest that we take the second to the last paragraph and just move it underneath the last paragraph. And then I would like to add to it that paragraph C provides clarification of terms and will be referred to for the following. And then the following would be the listing of the criteria materials.
Gotcha. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Moving. Okay. Unanimous. Carries. Next.
On the next page, which is the page 5, I would suggest that we get rid of the word criteria and just capitalize M and just say materials that contain the following. And then I'd also like to add an item number 5, that's patently offensive.
Okay. Discussion. Okay, hearing none. All in favor of this change, raise your hand. Okay. We have opposed. Okay. So we
Just
have
the second
6 to 1 in favor. Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, so we're moving to our next item of business. A motion to...
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
May I make a few comments about what's the next item of business? I thought, are we still on the collection?
No, sir, I asked you a while ago, did you want to make, and you said you'd make it later, but we done moved from that and voted on it.
We voted, I thought we voted on the changes,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, not, we didn't accept the whole,
We haven't
the whole
voted on the whole.
package.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hal.
Yeah, so I have a lot of problems with this policy, and I've articulated them before, and I've sent notes, and some of the notes were included, which I appreciated, but there are numerous outstanding issues. But just as a general statement, before we consider voting, given the potential legal ramifications which have been articulated by board members, the library staff, and informed members of the public, not to mention the enormous impact, the distribution of the workload on the library staff and the impact on library services, I think we should table voting on these policies, but particularly this one, until we get legal advice from an attorney who is experienced in civil rights, constitutional law, and preferably public library policy. I would hate to see us stumble into expensive lawsuits, wasting taxpayer money and staff time if we can easily avoid it. And there really is no hurry. And I know you don't all agree, but if it isn't broken, why fix it? Using the existing policies, we were approved for state funding. So I believe we can sign the certification and continue to work on these policies. Or if you want to temporarily hold the certification, I think the library can use existing resources to purchase materials while they sort this out. But if we insist on going forward, I do have some corrections to this policy. Let me just give you one of these. I'll just pass them down. Or an edit, I should say.
Okay.
So under the children's collection, it currently says the following criteria will not be included for the children and juvenile collection areas. And criteria, I think what you really mean is the materials that have the following content will not be included. You don't include criteria. If you understand what I'm getting at there. It says the following criteria will not be included. You don't include criteria in collection. It's the content of the collections that you're calling into question, not the criteria.
Right.
And I had suggested that if you wanted to, you could move what was into the asterisk or the starred and just say, and will be moved to the teen collections. And it'll be a similar thing under the teen as well. I mean, I'd like for it to read that way, because that means that any book that doesn't have those things specifically identified in it, the criteria, then couldn't be moved. But I don't think that's what you meant.
So replacing,
I have a question. Are you
Substituting the
doing
word-
amendment to it? Is that what you're trying to do, Hap? Okay, sorry.
You see, what I'm getting at is that criteria are not included in the collection areas. It's the content that you're dealing with.
changing that word.
Yeah, basically, materials that have the following content will be not included. I mean, if you want it to make sense.
Okay. So, you mentioned when you began to table it, then you're talking about moving some things around. What is your motion?
Yeah, I would actually like to table this until we get legal advice, because I think we're skating on dangerous ground here with these policies.
Okay. Hap has presented to table this until legal advice and
Yeah.
so forth, okay?
Yeah,
So
I'll actually
that's-
start with that. I'll make a
that-
motion that we table
Okay,
this policy until we get legal advice.
okay. All in favor of tabling this motion?
Well, don't we
Well,
need a second?
I'll second that.
Yeah, we need a second now. Okay.
But could I make a few
Yes.
comments?
Yes.
I mean, I've been a friend of the library for a long time, and I've worked with Director Howard and 2 or 3 of her predecessors, even designing this building 20-plus years ago. And in the training, the library policy, the state was updated in 2020. And then the Pickens County Library Board updated our collections policy in 2023. And it was September of last year, the county attorney recommended that the library board get our own attorney to discuss these, just so we're not changing a policy and then having to defend it.
Right, yeah.
So, you know, just knowing that it was just reconsidered 2 years ago, that I don't think there's a real rush. I'd like to have, you know, everybody on board. I mean, as we've had a number of emails from not only patrons, but also library staff members. So if these policies are recommended, we're gonna have to eliminate some extremely popular programs that the library staff cannot handle these changes and the current programming. So that's why there's no rush, there's no fire. So that's why I'd like to have legal advice and just let everybody, it was just amended a couple of years ago. Nothing's changed.
Okay.
So that's my reasoning, but thank you for
Yeah,
listening.
thank you.
And I'd like to amplify that just a little bit, because my biggest concerns are the unnecessary impact. I mean, some of my biggest concerns are on the librarian staff. And the criteria for moving the books may seem superficially clear, but they leave a lot of room for interpretation, as you'd have to admit. A burden that we really can't put on librarians to make these kind of decisions. For example, what is pervasive vulgarity? Is it 2 or 20 curse words? And what kind of curse words? Or is a cartoon view of an adult bottom seen from a distance equal to adult nudity? Is typical comical, vulgar adolescent humor about sex considered prurient? For all these categories, librarians will have to be given very specific instructions or training or copious examples as they review the books, so they're not left to second guess what the board actually intends. And now that the children's and juvenile literature has been added to the YA materials that will need review, the librarians are facing a task of reviewing over 86,000 books. not to mention reclassifying all the YA to teen. And if this is gonna be done in any reasonable period of time, it'll have massive impacts on library service. And actually, as I understand it, not much a way of programming will get done at all. And despite the argument that this is what the majority of Pickens County residents wants, I suggest that the majority of actual library users are going to be unhappy with the impacts, to say the least. I am pretty sure this is true of most of my constituents. We need to be prepared for a major blowback, not to mention the specter of lawsuits. So that just to expand my idea of why this should be tabled at this time.
Okay, other discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yes, I would just like to say that the collection policy was updated a couple of years ago, and it was, prior to that, it was like a paragraph, is what it was. So I'm wondering, what law firm did you use to review that collection policy before it was implemented? Because I don't really actually recall that happening, and I could be wrong.
I was not on the board at that time.
No, I understand, but I'm just stating it. And something has changed, and that has been the proviso that's been put in the budget. And the budget proviso is telling us that we need to remove books that are of pure interest to minors. We're not talking about adults, we're talking about minors. So there's a distinction between adults and minors, and the proviso says if we want to have funding from the state, which is about $370,000, more or less, depending on what year, I guess, we have to certify that that we have a collection policy in place that corresponds to that proviso. This current collection policy doesn't correspond to that proviso because it doesn't address any of the things that it says in the proviso. So we're trying to update this collection policy to get it in line so that the money can be released. Now, if there's no hurry, I would agree with that. I guess we can continue to pound through this, but that's really the issue here. And I don't understand this constant argument that we don't know what prurient means. And, it's in the law. We can look it up in the dictionary. It's in the obscenity law of 1615-305 as it relates to minor. There's definitions of it. So I don't accept the premise that this is too hard to figure out. And we have to at least make a good faith effort to try to be in compliance with this. And yes, you did go ahead, the previous board did go ahead and sign and receive the funds, but that was also a contentious issue as well because of this very fact that the collection policy doesn't really address what was in the proviso, which came later. So I don't know if you guys did use a law firm to review that first collection policy. Who is it, and can we use them again, hopefully? But aside from that, in order to release the funds that we need to keep I'm sorry, but $300,000 is a lot of money. And yes, I know you've gotten half of it, but that's still a lot of money. So we're trying in good faith to move this forward, that this has been discussed for quite a long time now with no real resolution. So we're just trying to make a distinction between minors and adults, and we're trying to put prurient interest material and not have that available in that minor area. And I don't think it's more complicated than that. And, yes, I'm sure we'll have to see how we can implement this. And I'm also sure that it will not be, it'll probably be practically impossible to go through every single book And maybe that would be a wonderful goal to have, but we have to at least make a good faith effort to do so. And that's what I think we're trying to accomplish here.
Okay. Other discussion? Some that hadn't weighed in yet? Any discussion? Okay. So the motion on the floor, just to clarify, is to table this collection policy tonight. Yes.
Could I ask Director Howard, I mean, I've heard that we have received state funding, and state funding is about 15% of our entire budget. So, you know, but I would like to know the date, because we've already got it for this year, for this fiscal year.
For the first
And-
half.
Yeah.
For the first half.
Half of it.
So it comes in two portions.
It does. You wanna clarify the dates on that for him, or tell him the dates?
Or,
that it comes
I
in?
don't,
Yeah.
was it,
We've already received half of it, and the second half, I mean, that process starts in January, so. Is that what your question is? Was it-
well, I heard we were paid, but,
We
you know,
were
I know our
first
main,
half.
our main battle for funding is gonna be with the county, since
Yeah.
they stripped our millage rate, which was very short-sighted. But regardless, funding to me is a lot more important than, to me, it's not that decisive of a matter. And another part of the training was with Megan Nations and also the county attorney, all new board members have to do. And they said no board member or commissioner can instruct a county employee on how to perform their job. And sometimes I think it's, from sitting out there for years, sometimes it seems contentious that we're not respecting the staff or the expertise of the library.
Yeah.
And that's just,
And that falls in with us finalizing, we're responsible policies, as she brings, develops policies with the policy committee, and they come together on it. The board has the final say.
I understand.
And so, yeah, that's where it comes down to. Going into her day-to-day duties, the board is not to be involved in that, of going in, telling her how to deal with her employees, et cetera, and those things. But when it comes to this part of it, policies, procedures, bylaws, those things, that's our responsibility.
I think the principal issue is that however you want to define prurient, I mean, there's a legal definition for it. It's a morbid interest in sex and so on. But I would argue that the professional librarians have not placed anything that of prurient material in the library collection. Would you agree that that's probably the case?
I would agree.
Yeah. So we can sign the certificate without having a new policy. The old policy
Point of order.
was
Or
acceptable.
Isn't there a motion on the table? Can we go to the motion? I mean, before we're still talking about a motion on the table, correct?
Right.
A motion to table.
It's a motion to
Second.
table.
So can we go to that motion? Point of order.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So it's to table this policy, and so those in favor of tabling this
Do you
policy?
need a second? Do you need a second?
I need a second.
Yeah, it already got seconded, yeah.
Okay, all right, so we got a second. So all in favor of tabling this policy, raise your hand. Opposed? Okay, so, it's opposed, it carries, and so we're back to the policy, okay? So with the policy at hand, so do I have a motion? We receive the policy, and there's amendments that came to it.
Excuse me,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, there's one more. If you're going to move ahead with moving it, there's one more correction or edit that I handed out that we didn't cover. If you turn the page over,
Page 5.
Well, Hap, if you will, run through it and
Okay.
we'll move on.
Really, quickly, right now, it's hard to read. It says criteria materials that contain the following will not be included in the teen collection. I just suggest that it say materials that contain the following content will not be included in the teen collection. And then I went ahead and just added the other asterisks in it. It will be moved to the adult section or a young adult subcategory thereof when available. Because again.
Hap, let me interrupt.
Pardon?
We have just voted.
Yeah, I know, to get rid of the,
As, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Those were the same
we're bringing it
corrections,
back, okay? Let me understand where we're at, okay? So everybody and all of us are on the same page.
Well, it's
We're bringing it back to the vote, okay? We had a second, and so we're in discussion,
right.
and so,
This is just an editorial suggestion,
okay.
much like Mark made.
I'd like to make a motion
Yeah.
that we, as we just went through the changes that I had proposed, Hap has some changes that he's proposing, and there is some overlap, but could we, I make a motion that we consider these and see if we want to amend the collection policy for his corrections? And that's a long motion.
Okay,
So I'll try it again. I'd like to make a motion that we amend the policy by reviewing HAP's corrections here and see if we would like to make those changes.
okay, so this is the next amendment coming in, so the other one had carried, and so now Hap,
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
okay. So,
So someone should, we have to see if we have a second on it.
I'll second that motion.
okay. Okay, and so, Hap, did you finish up with what you were,
Yeah, oh, that's
that-
it.
okay.
Right, it's
Okay.
just that what was in there doesn't make any sense. And so
Okay.
I just tried to clarify that.
gotcha, okay.
So
Okay.
should we decide, would we like to change the following criteria to materials have the following content on that section and make that change? Or not?
Hap, is that your amendment?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you read that or say that again so we know exactly what the amendment?
Sure, but it's on the sheet here, but. So changing the statement that says, materials that contain the following will not be included in the teen collection. And then I moved the sentence from below that was starred, and will be moved to the adult section, 18 plus, or a young adult subcategory thereof when available. I just got rid of the word, I don't know what the word criteria is doing there. It says
Okay.
criteria materials, I don't know what that means.
And Mark Kilburn's suggestion was the same thing, just remove
Yeah, that-
criteria and
that-
capitalize the M.
I think we did that, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yes, we
that's
did.
already
Yeah,
been
we did.
accepted.
But what, the other change is materials that contain the following content. In other words, criteria are not in books. Content is what's in books.
So could you state on policy, the page, paragraph of the correction?
This is on page 5.
5?
Yeah, under the teen section.
Okay,
And it's,
For clarification, is to get, you want to put in there after the word following, just insert the word content.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's also on page 4.
yeah, I didn't see it on 5, it's on, she said actually on 4
And 5, yeah.
and 5, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, I see it, top, okay. Okay. So, so Hap's amendment, did we have a second already on his amendment? Okay, All in favor of making this amendment?
One question?
Yes.
Can I interject? Is that gonna go ahead and change it on both places, or just the one?
Well, it's already changed on one through
Okay.
Mark, correct?
All right,
Well, but he's still inserting the word content on the second one, so, yeah. So that would be a new addition, would be
Okay.
content there, and then content in the front on page 4 too. So on page 4 and page 5, I think we should both have content in
Okay.
there.
Okay,
that's good.
thank you for the clarity. Okay. All in favor, just raise your hand on this change. Okay. Any opposed, say none. As unanimous, it carries. Okay. Okay, now, are we back to the original policy? Okay, collection policy, okay. So, do I have a motion? We accept the policy before us with the minutes, changes, et cetera. Let's do a second because it has been changed up somewhat. So do I have a second? Okay,
Second.
okay, okay. Any discussion?
Clarification, can you, who made the original motion?
Mark, for the
think it's Mark.
amendments?
No, this is for the, this is for the
This is-
collection policy.
So,
Did
to
you?
accept it as
I
amended.
thought I heard a motion.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
That was a while ago.
I think Hap made the motion and I seconded.
okay. Hap made the motion.
To
His
amend it.
motion was to
No, that was
table.
to
and I
amend it.
seconded
Yeah.
it.
That was
that
to
was
amend.
just
And then
voted
we
down.
And then
voted
Mark
against that.
did
Mark
the-
made the motion for
okay.
the amendments to be
For the-
I
accepted.
think you need a first and then.
Okay,
Second.
let's back up. Let's back up. Lane, I hope you got your eraser on your pencil over there. Let's back up.
I think I figured it out. Elisa originally made the motion.
So who made,
Elisa originally made the motion,
okay,
and then you guys went into your heads.
okay,
So if you're redoing it, then she would have to restate it with the amendments.
okay. So,
So, talk to you. I bring a motion to accept the collection policy with the additional amendments that we voted on. Right? Is that right?
got a
Any
second? Okay. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed, like sign. Seeing none, 5-2, it carries. Okay. Okay, next motion at hand is review the materials, reconsideration policy as written. Do I have a motion to do that?
Bring a motion for the materials reconsideration policy to be,
Okay.
As written.
Discussion.
has to have a second. No, this-
Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none. All in favor of the review materials and reconsideration
Excuse me,
policies?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
there is a correction that we absolutely have to make. Let me pass this out to you. It's item 5 on the last page. And currently it reads, the director will then gather all the information together and send to the chairman of the board following an intervening period of 30 days to be added to the next board meeting's agenda. And that basically reads that the director will hold on to the materials for 30 days, and that's not what we intended. So I'm asking, or as a suggestion, the director will gather together all the information related to the request and send it to the chairman of the board, who will add the request to the next board meeting that follows an intervening period of at least 30 days from the time of the chairman's receipt of the information. The idea here is that it gives the board enough time to review the material and read the book.
Okay, so you are, that is a motion of an amendment? Okay,
I would second that just because when I was meeting with them to gather the books and get caught up to speed, it was said that if these are popular books that are checked out, it might take time to get them in for people to review. So if a revision was requested right before a board meeting, nobody could have time to review the policy that we'd be voting on.
okay,
And the intent of the policy committee was to add the 30 days, but the way it's worded right now, it doesn't affect the outcome that we're trying to produce.
Okay.
So,
other discussion? Okay. Just looking at it one more time. All right, so all in favor of this amendment that Hap made to strike out original from the committee to change it to his amendment? All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? Okay, so moved.
I have another comment about the policy itself.
Okay,
I mean, I'm all in favor of streamlining, that's for sure, but right now, the librarians and the director may have as few as 10 working days to review a request and make a final decision, especially if we allow for 5 working days for the preliminary steps to take place. That allows 10 days only, working days. And this seems a bit draconian to me, as librarians will have to be selected, read the book, do research, make an evaluation, send them to the director who studies all the materials, and who makes an evaluation and notifies the petitioner of the decision in 10 working days. All those steps would have to take place, including reading the book. So I suggest that we need to expand the number of working days allowed for the total process.
We just passed it.
I'm sorry?
We just did a motion and passed it the way it was written, with your amendment on it.
Your 30 days right there was given.
No, that's
You
30
have
days
another
for the
change
board
to
to
it?
review it. I'm talking about the process of the librarians and director reviewing the
So you
material.
have more changes that you want to do to this policy.
so, Hap, what page you on, so we can follow you?
Okay.
Was that one?
We're at,
It's 15, didn't it say 15 days?
It's on page
Okay, now it's
3.
30. Okay, all right. My mistake. My copy had 15 days.
Yeah, first paragraph.
This,
Yeah, the 15.
this 15.
Yeah, this 15 days. The 15 days I'm referring to are the days that the library has to review it, not the 30 days that the 30 days for the board is to make sure that if it comes to the board and you put it on the next agenda could be, the next meeting could be the next day. So we're putting an intervening 30 days in there so that the board would have enough time to do the review. The 15 days refers to the steps the librarians have to go through. And I'm saying that the first 3 steps may take up to 5 days. That may leave as few as 10 days for all those things I just mentioned.
Can I say something?
So they may have as few as 10 working days to do all those things.
Yes, Nancy?
Because it allows additional time in the very next sentence, it allows additional time if it's needed. So I think it's covered.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
couldn't
last
hear.
sentence.
She said it, in the
The-
next sentence, it talks about additional time if needed.
If needed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's right there.
no, I understand that.
Okay.
But to develop a policy that is unworkable to start with is, I think, madness. I mean, nobody's gonna be able to do that in 10 days.
Other discussion?
Yeah, I was gonna say, this came up, I believe it was last meeting when we were discussing some of this stuff, and that's specifically why we added that last sentence in there, is the catch-all for those issues
Okay.
on that.
Okay.
So we're good.
Okay. Somebody help me out now. We are at the place of
I think we're good.
Jolana. Are we ready to vote now? Do you have it?
Do you need to make a motion to accept with amendments?
I thought we just did
We
that.
already
I
did
think
that.
you
We
guys
already
talked
did
it,
that.
But it was just for the amendment is what I caught.
Yeah, okay,
And then, because it was unanimous.
right.
To add the amendment. So now we need a motion to accept it with the amendment.
Okay. So,
So we don't have a number of days yet.
okay, your amendment is what, Hal, on this? What amendment is it? Clarify.
So, I would suggest at least 20 days. Well, in this case, 25 days, so that they would have 20 days to actually do all those steps, in addition to the 5 that it takes for the first 3 steps. So I'll make a motion that we change it to 25 days.
Okay. So with this change, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, second. Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of making this change, raise your hand. Those opposed, like sign. Okay, 5 opposed. So it didn't carry. Okay. Now, we are back to the original motion, okay? And I appreciate everybody's help, okay? Thank you so much. Okay, so at the motion we have, and I'm gonna go ahead and we can do a second because we did, I think, make an adjustment or not on this material, okay? Reconsideration. So do I have a motion to bring the review materials consideration policy as written
With the amendments.
with the amendments, okay? A second? Okay,
Second?
okay.
Aye.
Somebody did a second, so,
Oh, wait, it's my motion, isn't it? So I can't second, sorry.
okay,
Brian did it.
okay. So, discussion? Not hearing any. So, all in favor to, the review materials and consideration policy with the amendments as made tonight? All in favor of this policy, raise your hand. Okay. Any opposed, a like sign? 5 to 2 in favor, it carries, okay? So now we're going to item number 6, to sign the certification form of the library board.
I'd like to, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Okay,
I make a motion that we postpone this item until the next regular board meeting, which is in March.
okay. Have a motion before us to postpone signing of the certificate of the state library. Do I have a second? Okay, second.
Until the next meeting, did you say?
The next meeting, board meeting in March, okay? Discussion. And would you like to speak to that?
Yes, I would, as we've just passed this collection policy, and we're gonna need to kind of figure out how that's gonna work to get it implemented, I think we need some, time, a little bit of time to, get that working, before we go ahead and try to sign this document.
Other discussion?
Well, I raised the question, if you all think that these policies that you've just developed are exactly what the state is looking for and the proviso is looking for, why aren't we signing this certificate? That was the whole point of doing this exercise with these new policies.
Yes.
I mean, does that mean you're not confident that these policies are any good? Because I'm not.
Can I
So
respond
why
to
are
that?
we not signing the certificate?
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, can I respond?
discuss,
I mean, we signed the certificate under the old policy and it was perfectly fine. Now we have a new policy that you all think is exactly what we're supposed to have, and now you don't want to sign the certificate.
okay.
This makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Go ahead and speak. You've asked to speak.
My thought on this is, yes, we passed the collection policy, the new one that will help make us in compliance, but at this moment, nothing has been moved, so at this moment, we're not in compliance. So why sign a name when at this moment, nothing's moved, we're not compliant? So if
Yes.
we wait until the next meeting, then that gives a month for some of these books to be started to be moved.
Well, so how many of these books are you gonna be able to review in the next month? 2% of them? So 2% of the books will be evaluated. And so on that basis, you'll be more comfortable signing this. Again, this makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Other discussion?
Can I point out just a timeline issue that's
Yes.
very important to this? Because I think you are correct to have this special called meeting, kind of in order to do this. That was my thought initially. Because if you don't sign it tonight and you wait until March, we may get that payment end of April, May. All of state aid money must be spent by the end of June. And that is us scrambling to spend half of $360,000 in a month. And that would be almost impossible in terms of delaying book orders and delaying everything and then trying to push that through. It is a big deal not to have spent that money by the end of
Yeah.
June.
My understanding to this is that you have till June the 30th to send in the needed documents, this certificate, for the money to be released. Anything after, they can't release it because it goes into the next year.
So we
But
have
the-
to have it spent by the end of the fiscal year as well.
All of state aid for this year has to be spent by June 30th. Has to be spent. And it takes a while to receive it. It took a while to receive our last payment, almost a month when it was delayed. That's why the book orders were so delayed. So it creates an issue with working through those orders in terms of cataloging and actually spending that money in a month. So this gives us a little bit of, we're already going to be behind because typically this goes through in January. But if we wait, we're running out of months to spend a whole lot of money, and there will be additional delays.
Okay, other discussion?
I have a
Yeah.
Let me chime in. Just simply from my experience working in the school district, I don't know if they're on the same fiscal budget year we are, is what has to happen. But I know for a fact that there are some things that not only do you have to spend it, all the payment has to be done. It all has to be done,
Received.
completed, received, everything that you ordered by that drop dead date.
That is
And if
correct.
it is June 1st, is that correct?
30th.
June 30th.
June 30th. Okay, so, I mean, just want to go on record, I'm well understanding of that, and we face that every year.
And we had trouble with that last year. and we were crunch time. So I know this is gonna be really hard with an additional delay. With that much money, 2 months is a lot different than 30 days trying to spend it.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Okay, so this money right here, the second payment, has to be spent by the 30th of June?
Correct.
And received. Anything that is purchased has to be received by June 30th.
Okay, so the money we already have, you already spent it,
Not all of it, but we're close.
and that has to be spent by what time?
The end of the year. All of it has to be spent by the end of the year.
And you have indicated at previous meetings that you were wanting to purchase vans,
Yep.
so wouldn't that take up that money quickly?
Not all of it. We'd still have a bunch of money to, so the vans are $80,000.
Because it's only 150,000, right,
Well, the vans are $80,000 and we have 360,000 to spend. We've probably got, taking the vans out of that, we'll have around $200,000 to spend. Plus our local book funds,
But I
which
thought
doesn't,
this payment was only 150.
right, but we still have some right now that we have to spend.
But you only have to spend the 150 by June.
No, all of it. That we have to spend every bit of state aid by June 30th. And the $140,000 that we have in local book funds.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
So I have a question. So, the state aid, is it $360,000 or $330,000?
I believe it's 365. I'd have to look at it for a precise amount. In our budget, it says that, but he corrects it every year and he corrects it late.
I see. So on the financial statements that we get,
That's
where it
last
says
year's.
329.
Correct.
it's
And I've
not.
reminded him, but he always corrects it late.
So then you're due, then we're due to get $180,000, so, of which about 100 of it, probably 80 to 100 will be spent on vans. I don't know what the budget is on I don't know how much you're spending, but I mean, if you're buying 2 vans, that's gotta be $80,000, I would think. And
There's
I don't know if
$80,080
you have $80,080, okay,
that I just took out of what we had in there from the first payment.
I see.
And then we're subbing in the second payment.
So, I believe from the financial statements that we saw for last month, but I don't have it right in front of me, but I thought that you'd already expended most of that first payment of $180,000. It's already been spent.
I'd have to look at it, but
And then, so now we're just talking about the extra 180, so you'd have to buy the vans and additional book materials and so forth. But how does it work? The money comes into this county fund, and then you expend the funds, but if we needed to, if you put in the request for the money, doesn't the money come out of the county's account, and you just hit those accounts with your expenses, and so therefore, I mean, you don't need that specific $180,000, isn't there?
it has in the past, but recently he has wanted to see that money hit. Because of all this controversy, are we getting it? Are we gonna have to give it back? He likes to see that money hit our account before we spend it.
So,
Like, he has it in there as something, but until that payment hits, there's gonna be a delay.
I
And
see.
you can talk, to somebody about that and change it, but that's how it was last year. Because there were so many questions about, were we gonna get it, were we not gonna get it, were we gonna have to get it back? He was like, when it hits, that's when you're gonna get it.
Clarification on state funding. That's the money that you use it or you lose it. Is that the way the funding works on this one? That
Yeah.
it can't carry over, can't roll over?
Correct. And we're actually, it's
I just want
it's
to make
written
sure.
that we are required to use it all by June 30th.
Okay, another question.
Another question, how long does it take to get into the bank account? From the minute they get this paperwork, how long does it take?
It took a while last time because they only cut checks.
I feel like it was.
It's not.
It's not
It's not a
immediate.
direct deposit, it's not
think it's-
wired, it's a check that gets sent to you?
I think it's direct deposit, but they only do it once a month. So, and I don't know what date that was. I think it was 5 or 6 6
It
weeks
wasn't
from the
like a
last
week
time.
last time. I think it was more like a month before we got it. So that's why I'm saying, with that in mind,
Well, why wouldn't they put a time frame on this form to be signed by a certain time if you have to spend it by a certain time?
that's
You know
a
what I mean?
question.
Like, why would they not
for them.
say that there's a date that you have to get this form signed in? If there was a restriction on that?
I think they let library boards work through whatever process they need to work through, and they don't put a deadline on it to try to be flexible. That's just a guess.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Other discussion? Okay. Here's my thought after listening tonight, just weighing in on it. Do one of two things. We can go ahead and sign, but if I'm not mistaken, signing that, you're stating you are in compliance with that. That's something we just need to weigh in on. So, that's just what I want us to consider with what we discussed tonight, okay? So, each one of you, your vote counts, and so we move forward, majority of the board, okay? The discussion before we move into the vote.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the hang-up, I think, for me, is that, and I know Hap, you just said that, about the collection policy, we just passed a collection policy, so why aren't we happy? And the reason I'm not happy is because it says in here that you have to certify that you have a policy in place, and libraries do not offer any books or materials that appeal to the pure interest of children under the age of 17 in the children's, youth, or teen book sections, and that they're only made available with explicit parental consent. And because we've had so many reconsiderations brought up forward, and of a number of issues, I don't think in good faith that we can say as of right now, just because we passed this policy, that we're also meeting that element of it. And so that's why I think an extra 30 days to just try to get something in place and moved, so that we can, in good conscience, say that we're at least have made progress in this thing. I don't know, I could be wrong about the timing of getting the funds, or maybe there's other alternatives, so maybe we could consult afterwards with the county and find out, and if need be, we could call another meeting and to sign this, if it's mission critical, that it's impossible to spend all that money by the end of the year and we're gonna lose it, then perhaps before that next meeting we could find, but let's find that fact out afterwards. I would still suggest that we just postpone this until March and let this policy kind of percolate a little bit.
Okay, so that's the original motion at hand. We've had a second, we've had discussion. Any more discussion, and we're going into a vote, okay?
Well, I've made my points. First of all, there isn't any prurient material in the library, and the librarians wouldn't put it there. So so we're already clear, and we were able to obtain funding last time with the old policy. A month will do you little good in terms of what your goals are, is to look at every book to make sure it doesn't have prurient material. Looking at a handful of books is not going to change the outcome. So I just don't see what the point of not signing this is at this point. But
It's been discussed and some shared as well.
I made my point.
So, okay. All in favor?
Can you repeat the motion, please? Can you repeat
Oh,
the motion,
okay.
please?
The motion is this, that we postpone until the March meeting, next board meeting in March, to see in good faith if this new policy is beginning to be implemented, planned out, implemented. I know it's early stages, but just see if there is some work being done toward this policy. Okay, that's what my understanding. Okay. So all in favor of postponing the signing of the certificate to the state library till the March next meeting in March, our original meeting, scheduled meeting. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? 5-4 to move to not, so it did pass, so will not sign tonight. Okay. So do I have a motion? We be adjourned.
No, we gotta go into executive session. We gotta go into executive session.
Yeah, we got to adjourn this meeting to go into the executive session.
Adjourn to go into executive
Meeting.
session.
Yeah. So do I have a motion? Okay, got a motion from Brian, second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, just raise your hand. Okay, so now we are now out of our regular business meeting. And now may I make a motion and that we go into executive, and just before I do that, I must say, not detail, but give you some description of the executive session agenda concerning legal matters. We'll be looking tonight at the update on the FOIA request to board members for all policy communications. Then we'll discuss board's response to the American United for Separation of Church and State. We'll be discussing that and how we feel like the board needs to move forward on that, okay? So with that said, do I have a motion? We go into executive session. Okay, Brian made a motion. Second? Second, all in favor? Okay. So, we're in executive session. There'll be about a 10-minute break between executive session, or now and till we enter into executive session. And so we'll have it in here, so you can be dismissed, and then for you to like to stay to come back to hear the results of the executive session. Thank you.